Hey girlies, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Rachel, and you're listening to the Game Day Girlies.
Hello, Game Day Girlies. Merry Christmas. And wow, did we get a gift this year of
Welcome back.
football? Playoff football on home fields. So, wow, just Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I do feel like, honestly, I think this is one of the changes that I really, really love. The atmosphere was just amazing. I mean, even the bigger bowl games, those have really good atmospheres too. But just in general, like having, I mean, I didn't.
There's
Like, our
nothing
team
like
didn't
a
experience
campus.
this, but like, right, it was just like being at home. It just feels electric. It feels
Yes.
good versus like neutral site, and it's just not the same.
Yeah,
So
and it's
I
like
really
neutral
like
sites
that.
are NFL stadiums, which don't, like I just feel
Yeah.
it just feels different. So
Yeah.
being like in the environment of a college campus is definitely it just hits different.
Yes.
It hits different.
So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the recap of round one games. I think both Rachel and I have the sentiment of just like blase blah, but we will start with Friday night's kickoff. Indiana at Notre Dame. Obviously, this was prime time in this household, and my father was very happy. So I'm so
sure he
happy for
was.
him. Notre Dame won, beating Indiana 27-17 in the bitter cold of South Bend.
Yeah. But this game, the 17-27 is not necessary. It's not how this happened. The score was 3-27 until the last 2 minutes of the game. So
yeah, because the starters were out.
Yes,
like,
this was not. I hate whenever it's like, oh, they only 10 points.
Yeah.
No, they got the brakes beat off of them.
Yes,
Indiana
the score
did
is not indicative
of what happened in this game. And quite honestly, as a, watching this game, I was just like, just as we thought, just as we all knew, this was going to be a blowout. Indiana are frauds, and that's exactly what it was. They had not played anybody, and it showed. They just it was a terrible game. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I was bored, so bored.
I actually fell asleep. It was
Yeah.
It was a blowout. So, but kudos to Notre Dame. My dad is happy, and they will be playing Georgia next round. So that should be a good one. I think that'll be a good one.
It
but
will
we'll talk
be
about that later.
Yes, it'll be a good game. Our next game is SMU at Penn State, and this game, it happened exactly how I thought it was going to happen, where SMU was going to get blown out, and Penn State did all the things that they needed to do at Happy Valley, winning 10-38. So, yeah.
I honestly, I did not think SMU was going to win, but I did think it was going to be a little bit a better game than it was. I really did. I thought I didn't think it was going to necessarily be like a nail biter either, but I just 10-38 was not what I was like expecting at all. So that did kind of shock me a little bit, but yeah, the result was what I expected. So it is what it is. Win some, lose some, try again next season. Speaking of trying again next season, my Tigers lost in Texas, and I'm so sad, but it's okay. We lost 38-24. I do feel like this game had some moments of excitement where we could have come back, but they just couldn't figure it out. And in the fourth quarter, there were just entirely too many penalties. But honestly, I feel like this game was an outcoached game, and Dabo needs to go back to the drawing board with his coordinators, his lead coordinators, and kind of restart the season strong.
Yeah, this y'all started off the game strong. I was like, oh, okay, like we have a little something going here. we're
Yeah.
settling in. And then it just, out of nowhere, I don't know.
I don't know.
It
Well,
just,
I don't
it
know.
got bad
I
quickly,
know.
but
I feel like
quickly.
Clemson too this season, and I had to like set it. I feel like we have not played a full four, which you need to do, obviously. Like I went to make this clear. We have not played full 4 quarters. Earlier in the season, we played better in the second half, and like towards later in the season, we played better in the first half. But
Right.
it's like we need all 4 quarters to win a game, gentlemen. So
Yeah.
it showed, and we lost on the road, and that's okay. Our season ends. It's still horns down, Tigs on top, but not tonight.
I, that's okay. It's okay. Our last game here, which was again one of the worst, but here we are. Tennessee at Ohio State. Tennessee lost 17-42, and the fact that Tennessee was able to put together a game so terrible, and
Mhm.
Ohio State was somehow able to play so
That
well
well, yeah,
was a crazy combination for me.
yeah.
I really didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I'm going to give Ohio State their props because I love to talk poo poo on them. Um, like they looked really, really good this game. They were able to put together offensive drives, and their defense, I think, to me, is what really stood out. They
Mhm.
stood up. And so I think this team, the way they played on Saturday, is the team that has the ability and for Ryan Day's sake needs to show up the rest of
These playoffs.
these playoffs in order to win. But I think they could. The way that they looked, honestly, could win the national championship. So that I think to me that was like the biggest shock of them all. But I was really disappointed in Tennessee just because I think all season they have really had a
Yeah.
great offense for them to get to that point and kind of just like stop. I felt really bad for Nico. I was like, man, he's out here really he was trying to like figure it out and put it together, but like you cannot do it by yourself
Right.
at
No,
all.
it was just too little too late. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
y'all, I hate whenever teams go out and just want to give it their all, then with 8
At the
minutes left in the
end,
fourth quarter. Where was
it was
this
at
all
the top of the
game?
first. We're sitting
Right.
at the
Like,
top of the
where
first.
was all of this?
I know.
But so
I
be it.
know.
Like, this game, SMU, Penn State, and Iowa. Indiana, Notre Dame as a 3-way tie for the worst games this weekend.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
terrible,
Basura,
terrible,
basura.
trash.
But it has been so long since we've talked to you guys. So the last like super big update that we had was the Heisman, and it was none other than Travis Hunter, which both Rachel and I picked and are too early to pick Heisman Trophy
Yes.
winners. So I was really happy for him. But what I thought was interesting was that they said this was the closest vote like in Heisman history.
Mm-hmm.
And in the next in line was Jainty,
Yeah, Ashton J.
yeah, of Boise State. So that was actually really interesting to me. Not that he didn't deserve it or anything, but he just wasn't on my personal radar. But yeah, so good for him for being a close second.
Yeah. Um, what a time in this season. What a historic season. We've had the closest Heisman race
I
and
know.
the first year of the 12-team playoff.
I know.
Just
A lot of
wow.
chaos. A lot of
A
chaos.
lot of
But
chaos, and it continues.
oh
We're
yeah.
not done
We're not
yet.
done yet.
We're not done yet. We have some predictions, or we have some picks for next week, or not. Well, I guess it is kind of next week.
Until the next time you hear
Until the
from
next
us.
time that you hear from us, exactly. Which includes our quarterfinals of the playoff. So there's a couple games, 3 games that we'll talk about before we get to those games. And the first game that we have up is Iowa State versus Miami, which play the Pop-Tart Bowl on the 28th of December.
Mhm.
I am picking Miami. I feel like they are going to be, feel some type of way about not getting into the playoff, and then also watching these teams that did not play have great games that got in, ahead of them. And this is a time in order to, I guess, prove that they should have been in. I don't know. They should have
Yeah.
proved that whenever they had to win the games. But and again, I'll
Yeah.
say the same thing about Alabama. Y'all gonna come out here and have something to prove, but you should have been proving that during the
Prior
season
to
whenever it was,
this.
yes, winning and losing games. Yes. But yes, I am picking Miami to win this game. And I
I am
also don't know. We need to take a look at who's opted out and whatnot, because
Yeah, we do. Because I've heard rumors that Cam potentially might not be playing, and obviously like some other players, but
mhm.
yeah, because that I think would change. But we
Yes.
didn't do that before, so oh well, that's on us.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm also picking Miami for similar reasons. I'm actually really just a bowl caveat. I'm very disappointed in the matchups. I feel like for the most part, there's no real exciting games to kind of be looking forward
Well,
to.
because the exciting games were supposed to be in the playoff,
I mean, I get
and
it. I get it,
now
but like
they weren't.
I
That's why
get
these
that.
games, these
No,
people
no,
should have
no.
been playing. SMU should have been playing Iowa State.
No, like even outside of that, because like back when you had the playoffs and it was 4, there were still
Mhm.
like better matchups that you could kind of like look forward to outside of like
Right, but
the
because they would be like top
but
15
even here, it could
matchups.
have been Miami, Alabama. I would have rather seen that than Iowa State, Miami, or
You're
Alabama,
okay, you are
Michigan.
right. They
You
should
know what
have
I'm
they should
saying?
have just picked the first 2 out. They should have played each other.
Yeah, I mean, like that would have been an exciting game to
Yeah,
see
now
as a
that would have been a
whole.
real, like, the real, I've oh my god, could you imagine with the, like, marketing around this? It's like
I'm saying.
the like, the left out bowl or the
Like
leftovers
something,
bowl.
I don't know, the leftovers bowl. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we
Yes.
could have done a little bit better
You're
in the
right.
matchup, understanding that the marquee matchup should be in the playoff, but like y'all can still throw something together with who's in these bowl games because what
True.
was left was not like I would have loved to seen like a South Carolina, Colorado. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would've been a good game.
Right? But we didn't get that. So anyway, out of
Oh my
my
god, Ole
caveat.
Miss, Michigan. That would've been a good game.
Right, like, come on. Put me on the bowl. Put me on the
Yeah, who
bowl
did this?
matchup. Because who did
If
this?
it was the committee, then we know why that this is trash.
Garbage. Garbage. But that's my caveat. I'm also picking Miami.
Fair.
My next our next game that we're doing is the Big 12 matchup that never was, BYU versus Colorado in the Alamo Bowl. I am picking Colorado. I just feel like they'll pull it together and get it together and win this out on top. And I do know that there are no sit outs for Colorado. They're all
Yes.
coming, they're all playing. They said we're going to finish this one as a team. So,
I'm also picking Colorado. I think because of a lot of what you just said, that like there's no sit outs, everybody's really, rallying behind Travis, and I do believe that they feel or felt like they should have been, considered in the
mhm,
playoff, which they could have been if they, won their conference, but
right.
that's that.
Mhm, mhm,
Anyways, I think again that they are that they'll pull it out.
yeah.
Um our next game, we have Alabama versus Michigan on the how do you say this? Reliquest,
Relia Quest,
Reliquest, whatever bowl,
whatever.
on New Year's Eve on the 31st.
Mhm,
I'm of course picking Alabama. I am obviously, whenever we're talking about the people that are sitting out or transferring, whatever. I am surprised, happily, like I'm pleasantly surprised at the amount of people that or who decided to transfer and not transfer,
mhm,
um because I do feel like I was bracing myself for everybody leaving. I was like, Ryan Williams, he gone. Everybody gone. Everybody just gonna leave. They just said this is not for what I did. This Vanderbilt
This
and
is not the coach I wanted.
exactly. This is not what I signed up for. I just thought I just knew it. And pleasantly surprised that, Kaylin, it's what it does show is that, Kaylin has the locker room. So Coach DeBoer, good job. But we're going to see against Michigan. Let's see if you can motivate your team to play on the road, because that has not been the case. We haven't played well outside of Bryant-Denny. So come on.
I'm also picking Alabama. Michigan had their heyday beating Ohio State, but that's all they're gonna get. I like honestly, they're the ones who need to really restart next. Them and Florida State really need to like restart next season and strong and figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm also picking Alabama. I think y'all will get the dub. But you know what? I will say, if you're in a bowl game, at least you can leave with something. You know what I'm saying? You win, you get a Pop-Tart toaster trophy. If you get in the playoffs and you lose, you get nothing. So it's like,
yeah, you went on the road and
at least you can make a toaster and your
you
trophy.
got a playoff patch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So kudos to y'all. Y'all get Miami. You can potentially make your toaster strawberry frosted Pop-Tart in your trophy.
Wow. I mean, I feel like the winning team, everybody on that team should get Pop-Tarts for life.
For life.
I don't see why that would not be a thing.
Going back to these bowls really should be offering something, you know.
Yeah, like the Outback Bowl.
Come on, somebody.
The blue and onions.
Come on, somebody. Okay, moving into back to our CFP for the quarterfinals. Our first game that we'll have is Penn State versus Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm actually this is the game that I feel like it could really have like a turning point. I want Boise State to win. I want them to come out strong and to give it all they got and to shut up Penn State and shut them down, But I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to pick Penn State. But please know, Boise State, I'm rooting for y'all.
No, I 100% agree. If whatever Jess said, copy and paste that, because I really would love for Boise State to pull this out. However, I just don't believe it in my heart, and I can't sit here and lie to y'all thinking that like I can't sit here and pick them.
Yeah.
So yes, I do believe that Penn State will win. However. I really would love to be wrong.
Me too. So prove us wrong, Ashton.
Yes, come on. You didn't win the Heisman, so maybe you win a quarterfinal game.
Yeah, that's right.
We gonna see. Our next game, we have Texas versus Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. So they will be here in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Now, Texas has not had great success at Mercedes-Benz Stadium thus far, losing to Georgia for the second time this season there in the SEC championship. So, however, I do believe that they're going to pull this game out. I do believe that Texas is going to win.
Okay.
But I don't think that it's not going to. I think it's going to be harder than they think it's going to be. And I think everybody else thinks it's going to be, because everybody keeps talking about how this is like the ideal path was to go be able to have this Texas's seed and play Arizona State in the second round. So, but I don't think that, I think people are asleep on Arizona State.
I honestly think top of the bracket is like, at least this season. Obviously we'll see how it checks out like in later seasons to come, but I honestly would have rather been a 6 bottom half bracket, because like the top seemed a bit more difficult. Like I don't want to play the number 1.
Right.
person in the country if I have to.
Right.
Like, I don't want that for my life. But anyway, I'm actually gonna pick Arizona for no other reason than I'm petty. So I want them to beat the
So
team.
Texas must lose. Got it.
Texas must lose. But that's really it. And also, I think just being rested, like Arizona State really does have a good team. And I think their quarterback is like he's rallied and to go and they are rested, whereas Texas was not and have to bounce back in another week. And I know they had a couple injuries. I don't know how that checked out, but
Yeah. And Isaiah Bond, we'll see if he's back. But
yeah.
it is tough. Like you have to play again in 10 days. So
I'm hoping that the rest and relaxation is what kicks us over the edge. Arizona, I'm your number one fan.
Oh my
now.
God, now Arizona State has a new fan.
Yeah, Arizona State, I'm your number one fan. Our next game, the rematch from earlier in the season, we have Ohio State versus Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I was 1,000% confident in who I was picking until Saturday.
Ooh, when Ohio State decided to show up.
And so now
maybe it is that Ohio State, they just can't have too much time not playing. They can't, because, in the past, whenever they have gone to the playoff, they don't do really well.
Right.
So maybe they don't need rest.
Yeah.
Maybe
they just need to keep it going.
Yeah. They need to keep it consistent.
And so against all better judgment, I'm actually, and based on how they played Saturday, I'm actually going to go for Ohio. I've also been saying Oregon needs a loss. So maybe this is their loss. But also, they're coming in bitter, or not bitter, but just like that loss is on their mind. That's their one loss. They're doing it for Ryan. They're doing it for themselves. Like, I feel like they just have a little bit more
yeah, they are hungry.
Yeah,
they're very hungry.
I'm going with Ohio.
I'm also gonna pick Ohio State. And I hope I don't eat my words, but I agree. If the Ohio State that showed up yesterday, or this weekend, if that's who shows up against Oregon, and again, they have this really salty taste in their mouth about how the last game ended and all of the things.
Yeah.
So I believe that they're gonna pull this one out. Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Okay. In our last game, we have Notre Dame versus Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And this game, I want to caveat this. If Carson Beck is playing, then I have Georgia winning. Sorry, no, I have Georgia losing. If they have the new quarterback playing, I have Georgia winning. Because Carson Beck is absolutely terrible.
Okay, well, you got to pick one.
So I think that Carson Beck is not going to play. And I think that Georgia's going to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the things I said about Notre Dame this season, guys, I am literally taking them back and I'm rooting for them at this point. Because now I have no reason not to. And if I'm just going against my dad for funsies, that just seems cruel. So I'm rooting for them to at least make it to the national championship. I have them and I guess Ohio State. Well, I guess they can't do that because they're both at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I have them.
Texas and Notre Dame. No, but you don't have that.
So I have Notre Dame and Arizona State.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
That's who I have.
That would be the wildest.
Based on how it's tracking. That's not how it's tracking. That's who I'm
Jess. Oh my God. You are insane. You are insane. But okay, whatever. I'm here for the delusion. I'm here for the delusion. Let's see.
Oh God. But no, I actually think they just they do look really good. And I have no reason to go against my father anymore. So I'm not gonna, and they're the closest thing that I have to ACC left. So
the honorary ACC team.
Our honorary ACC member, I'm rooting for you.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess we're going to see. Wow. Oh my God.
See how it checks out. But yes, that is all we have for you today. We will not be back until January 15th. We're going to take a little bit of a holiday break. So I hope you all enjoy Christmas, the New Year, and all the other holidays that you celebrate. Enjoy time with your family, friends, loved ones, and just relax and
be
reset.
merry and bright. Be merry and bright.
Yes, spread some holly jolly spirit.
I know that's right.
So we will catch you back in the new year on January 15th. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and we will see you then.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and bye, Game Day girlies.